We can break down the offseason into 3 parts, and there's 4 components of our game that we can work on. We're going to break it all down. Today, I'm giving you a complete overview of how to handle your golf season to make sure that we don't get stuck in a rut and make sure that we come out in 2025 ready to play in better golf, in better shape, and moving as quickly as we can. So let's dive into it. Complete off-season program and recommendation starts right now. So when I look at the off-season, especially if you're in the north or if you're a competitive player or if you're in Canada or northern U.S., wherever you are, overseas, wherever, there's people watch this from all over the place. I look at the off-season in 3 components. And we've entered the off-season here in Canada, and I'm looking at it as 3 2-month pockets or 3 8-week parts. We have November, December. We have January, February. And then we have March, April. And normally golf courses, we start to get outside early into the end of April. I think a lot of players, they wait till the new year, or they give me all these different things or reasons of just always doing the same things all over again. So we're going to break down each part. But there's 4 things that I believe we can accomplish in the golf season, in the off season, sorry. We can get our body in better shape. We can swing the golf club faster. We can work on our full swing, and we can work on our short game. Can we do all of it at the same time? No. Let's break down exactly how to do it. So part number 1, which is where we are right now, November, December. For most of you, you've played a bunch of golf, and it's unlikely that your golf swing is completely lost, right? If you were to go hit golf balls today, the swing that you would have today is something probably similar to what you had in the summer. I think something that's important to do, whether you have a coach or not, if you have a coach, I think it's great to have a lesson right now to say, here's my swing right now. What does improvement to my golf swing look like? And let's get that laid out in the open. Don't wait until January where you haven't swung a club in several months, and then you're at the point where you're basically restarting. If you don't have a coach, I think getting into an indoor simulator that has one of the big launch monitors to be able to get some information like club path, club face, angle of attack, smash factor, some of these metrics, and okay, this is what my swing is right now. So at least you know when, and we'll get to when start to work on golf swing, here are the points that we're looking to improve on. So the first thing I think we do in part 1 of the off season is let's get some data on our golf swing. The second part is all about the body. For a lot of my players, I don't care if they swing the golf club a lot, but this is the most important time and the best time to get your body in better shape. And depending on the person, you might have plenty of strength, but you have mobility and stability issues that need to improve, injuries, aches and pains, different things like that. Or your priority might be that you just flat out have to get stronger. Whatever it is, this is the time to do it. This is the perfect time to work on your body to get it as strong or as mobile as you can for when we get into these other parts. If you have a trainer, fantastic. Call them. Let's go. Don't wait for the new year. You have 8 weeks to do some serious gains in a positive way. Let's start the new year in way better shape. Let's not wait till January 1st to start. If you don't have a trainer, but you're looking for someone who understands the golf swing, what I would do is I would recommend that you find a TPI certified professional, whether they're medical, whether they're fitness, whether they're golf pro. If they're certified, go and get a level 1 assessment. And if they're power certified, get a power screen, and they'll be able to tell you what you need to work on your body, whether it be strength, stability, or mobility. And with the TPI app, they also have AI that'll give you a specific training program for you to work on. What I'll do is I'll post a link down below to the Find the Expert page on the TPI website. Go there, find an expert, get assessed. Do not waste November and December. So part 1, to summarize, what is part 1 of the off season? We find out where our swing is at currently, and we identify the goals that we want to build upon. And then 2, we build a stronger and more mobile body. We get through the holidays, we get to January. Now, if we follow this plan, we now get to January. We know what our golf swing we know what parts of our golf swing have to improve. And we're now stronger and more mobile than we were 2 months ago. Since we've built a strong foundation body-wise, this is time for us to train speed. When I look at the months of January and February, this 2-month pocket, if we have built a better body, let's start applying some speed to that. So we can introduce speed training through something like Super Speed Golf. They have laid out programs. They have a new app coming out where you can track everything. And I think that if we do this properly, we're going to build a stronger body. We're going to build more speed as we're working on our golf swing, which leads us into golf season. So January, February, we have our strength plan. We have our mobility plan. We're working with our trainer, or at least we know what we're going to do to maintain that. Now we start to introduce overspeed training. And now is when we're probably starting to say, okay, now it's time to start working on my golf swing. What are the drills that I have to do? What does my practice schedule look like? And what is the videos I have to record to check certain things? What's the data points that I'm looking for to improve upon? Keep in touch with your coach, getting lessons, those type of things. So part 2, January, February. We've built a better body. We've got our speed season. And we're really starting to dive into the nitty-gritty grunt work of our golf swing. As we get to part 3, so far we've built a better body. We're working on our golf swing. And now on top of that, we've also added a little bit of a speed component there. Now we shift to, we're going to be getting outside pretty soon. The mistake that most people make is this is when they start to work on their golf swing a lot. Right, March comes, April comes, the snow maybe starts to melt. They really start to get excited about, okay, now I need to start getting back to the range and working on my swing. But that's what everyone always does, and it very rarely leads to better scores on the golf course. So since we flipped it and we're already 4 months into our off season, once we get to March and April, this is when we start committing our practice time to short game shots, to knowing our carry distances, and to putting. By now, you've already been taking lessons, and you should already have a good idea if you're working with a coach. What does my practice plan look like for my full swing? What are the drills that I'm going through? I know how to practice my full swing. I'm going to continue to do that, but now it's a time to start working on distance control with my clubs. How far do my clubs actually go? And even though we're indoor, starting to rediscover what it's like to hit these short distance shots, 10-yard shots, 20-yard shots, 30-yard shots, etc. And also starting to shake the cement off of our hands and starting to putt again. And the thing I'll say before I go, we can always try to do all of this all winter long, but I think what happens is too many players try to do it all, and then they never end up doing anything that good. So that's why I've broken it up into these components. So we have that first part, strength, mobility, golf swing. We have our second part, golf swing and speed. We have our third part where we're still working on our golf swing a little bit, but now we transition to short game and chipping and putting. If you zoom out for a second and look at what you can accomplish in 6 months in these little 2-month pockets, you can get stronger, you can get more mobile, you can work on your golf swing, you can work on your short game, and you can work on your putting. Fast forward 6 months right now, and let's go to like May 1st. And let's say you've committed to chipping away at all of those. Imagine how good your body's going to feel. Imagine what your golf swing is going to feel like. And imagine the feel you're going to have for the short game in March 1st of 2025 compared to March 1st of 2024. Now, I know for a lot of you said, okay, Ryan, but how would I break this down? I've got a wife, I've got kids, I'm busy. How would I do all this? Let's go through that breakdown. So part 1, where it's gym and golf swing. If you do nothing right now, my recommendation is let's go hit golf balls 1 day a week. And let's do our strength or our mobility 3 times a week. Yes, that means we might have to find some time, wake up earlier than we want to, stay up later than we want to. But let's remember here, if we want to make some changes, we've got to find some time on our schedule. So part 1, let's hit golf balls once a week. And let's do our gym or mobility 3 times a week. As we transition to part 2, if we have a good gym routine that we like and we have some strength and a mobility exercise that we like, in part 2, what I would recommend, we're going to go to the driving range once a week. Do one of your speed training sessions before you go to the driving range. And then you're going to go to the gym or still do your gym and mobility 2 days a week, doing your speed training in front of that. And what I mean by in front of that is we want to make sure we're training for speed. We want to be as fresh as we possibly can. So don't do your workout and then decide that you're going to do your overspeed training, because you're not going to be very fast. Again, does this start to pinch some of your workout time or some of your range time? It might. But remember here, we're trying to accomplish a lot of different things instead of the player that just goes, hits balls one day a week all winter long and gets no better. So in that second part, 1 day a week at the driving range. And I think that we can look at doing super speed before that session. And then gym, if you want, you can reduce down to 2 days a week, because you've just got to accomplish those goals of your gym or your mobility goals, and then do your speed training in front after a warm-up. As we start to get into the third part, where it's more short game focused and division of time, I think one thing that you can do, you can actually look at, let's drop the gym down to 1 day a week, or maybe 1.5. Ideally, hopefully we can still stay at 2. But then what I'm looking for is I'm actually looking at, for that period, can we practice our golf swing twice a week? Can we go to the driving range and work on our full swing once? And then can we have another session that is dedicated specifically to chipping and putting? I hope that wasn't too much of an information dump as I try to guide your schedule, but the thing I'm going to reiterate for the last time here, there's 3 parts of the off season, and there's 4 things you can work on. If you take one night and you sit down and you draw it all out on how you can make it all work, imagine a scenario where you can work on different parts of your game in November and December, part 1. Part 2 is January and February. Part 3 is March and April. And if you put the pieces in each part during those 3 parts, you're going to develop a physical routine to either get stronger or to get more mobile, or do both. You're going to discover what you have to work on in your golf swing early in the off season, and then work on it throughout the off season. That's part of part 2. And for a lot of you, for the first time in the off season, you're actually going to spend time on your short game and developing that skill before you wait until you get outside, and going through the core fundamentals of working on starting our putts online, knowing how far our clubs go. And on top of all that, we have a speed pocket in there to help you increase your club head speed. That is how you can attack, or how you can improve your entire golf game in the off season. 3 parts of the off season, 4 parts of your game, better scores in 2025. I hope you've enjoyed this breakdown. If you have any questions, please post them down below. Make sure you find yourself a TPI expert. If you're local to me, hit me up. I'll give you a TPI assessment. I'll let you know what you have to work on to put a plan in place, because in 2025, let's play some better golf. Thanks for watching and listening, folks. Have a great day.